Yeah, but kids that are like that 4 or 5 age or something, I mean, they just depress the hell out of me. But you're just saying, yeah, it's in for such a pile of shit, you know.
I had a sister born when I was 14, and I would have bad dreams that I dropped her or something really fucked up would happen, like a parent or something. It was disturbing.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. Just because they really do, little kids are just so vulnerable. It's just really spooky. But just the idea of being a parent, I mean, you imagine with the responsibility you're taking on. Because the part I could never get in my head either was like, do I force the kid to play the violin? I got to hang up about violin. That would be the instrument for me. Would be the violin. And it's like, well, yeah, do I force the kid to play it? What do I do? And how old does the kid have to be before I let him cut the grass? Let's say, to play with a lawnmower. And how old does he have to? I mean, I'd be just so fucking anal. I'd be so worried all the fucking times. I knew all the risks I took as a kid. I mean, I took some preposterous risks. And it's like, life is so fucking dangerous. Yeah, I'd be a terrible father because I'd be constantly measuring the impact of everything the kid was exposed to. What's happening to his psychology? Maybe a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Yeah, is he old enough for a Bugs Bunny cartoon or not? I'm not quite sure. I have to think about that. Oh, Rugrats? No, no, I think that's inappropriate. But maybe, I mean, I would just be going insane, trying to figure out how to program this poor little kid.
A girl I liked a lot when I was a teenager had a kid. She was 18, and she wouldn't abort it because she was scared of feeling guilty later on. And a couple of years later, she's fucking miserable and just kind of depressed and going into herself. And you wish you could say "I told you so." It's not really the time.
Yeah, once they're fucked, they gotta buck up and do their job. you know. But boy, yeah, it's big. Well, like I said, people are just so irresponsible, though. It's like the pet thing really irritates me because people take on the response. Oh yeah, I want a kitty, I want a puppy, and then they don't. I'm just so sick of taking care of other people's animals.
Hey,
This might be.
hey
Go ahead.
Gary, if you could like euthanize all those cats that you have to take care of, would you?
Well, I always end up doing it eventually. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I've spent a few $100 putting other people's cats to sleep. And I put a couple to sleep that were pretty healthy. They really weren't that bad. They were just more than 10 years old, and you know, they really didn't have the good enough life. They had to live outside in the winter, and it was a hard life. And yeah, it just was time to go. I mean, I made the decision. You know what I mean? It was like they were my responsibility, and I made the decision that it's better to, have them go out quickly and gracefully than to go out hard and ugly. And you know, and it's not a pleasant thing to do, but I mean, I just as a practical matter, I don't think it matters to a cat. I mean, cat's not thinking about mortality. It's not saying, "Oh, I only live to be 12 years old. God damn it." I was gonna have a kick-ass 13th year. That kind of shit isn't going on in their heads. So, they don't know the difference. So you really should do it before they get sick, theoretically. I mean, I can't argue against that. I mean, it's not intuitive, right? It's not emotionally comfortable to say, yeah, euthanize it before it gets sick, but it's logical.
You think it
Yeah, I
would be
know, but
unethical to do
look what
this?
people put animals through. You know what I mean? They take them to a vet to have surgeries done. Cats don't understand what's going on, or dogs, and all they know is they're in pain and they're suffering and they're going through a whole big trauma. And why are they doing any of that? It's because some jackass human says, "Oh, maybe I can get another 6 months out of this cat." And what the hell is that shit? You know, you don't impose. It's like that's like imposing a trauma on a retard. Why would you impose trauma on a retarded person for something they can't value? And that's what you do when you sit there and try to save a dog or a cat's life. You know, try to extend their life beyond the natural course. You're imposing an awful lot of unpleasantness on the animal, and you're not doing it of some kind of favor. I mean, you know, going to the vet and having surgery and recovering and all that kind of, it's no fun. I mean, you know, don't delude yourself that it's a good time, that you're taking the vet isn't Disney World for pets.
How do you
Not doing
make
your
the
wallet a
decision
favor either.
as to when to euthanize them?
Like I said, I don't think there's any written in a book thing. I mean, I haven't certainly written the book, but, well, let's just say theoretically, like I said, they don't value life the same way we do. They live in the moment. So, you know, logically, you have to think of if their life is at all threatened to be compromised, then there's no. Come on, you retards, get the fuck out of here. God, people are so fucking annoying. They should euthanize those stupid girls. God damn. Fucking take them to the goddamn vet. Get it done. Where was I? Yeah, so when the right time is, like I said, theoretically, when they're, you know, kittens and puppies, you know.
Yeah, you know, I was just kind of wondering, you know, why don't you, euthanize them as soon as you find them or whatever. You know, it's just like that was just like a thought that went through my head. I don't know.
Yeah, the only reason why I just can't, you know, it's an emotional thing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's too personal for
Okay.
me. If I was
Right.
making the decision for somebody, you know, for some other cat, you know what I mean? Except when I've, you know, shared a couch with, it's a lot harder question when it's a cat you've shared a couch with.
Do you have a nice vet you go to who doesn't mind putting them down?
Well, yeah, they don't mind when you give them the 70 fucking bucks, the scumbag leeches. I mean, it really pisses me off. I mean, to pay $70 to euthanize a fucking cat that isn't even my own fucking cat. I mean, it really pisses me off. I mean, they cost them what? How much? You know how much it cost them? What, it cost them $1.69? Probably cost them less than that. It cost them a syringe and 60 cents in chemical. And then they fucking charged me 70 bucks. The fucking goddamn leeches. I've mentioned this before, but they ought to actually allow midwife type veterinarians. You know, not real veterinarians, just people who learned how to do the putting to sleep thing, like Kevorkian vets. And then they could actually go to people's houses to put dogs and cats down. Because that's part of the thing that's really insidious about this whole thing is that, you know, and not only is the animal dying, but then you have to package it up, throw it in the fucking car, bounce it around to get it to the goddamn vet. I mean, the animal's in pain and suffering, and you're going to sit there and drag it to the vet. I mean, what the hell is that shit? The vet should be able to come to you. You should be just some guy who comes to you, who knows how to put an animal to sleep, and puts the animal to sleep in its own fucking bed. That would be the humane way to do it. But the
Yeah, my
damn
grandpa
vet
was an old
union won't
farmer
let
and he
that
shot him
happen.
in the head from behind.
Yeah, well, that doesn't work. I've seen the shot in the head thing, and that is one fucking ugly way to kill an animal.
It is, yeah.